starting off in the northeast with 3 states, Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland, having now voted. What are the big numbers saying? The Axis My India poll is back. Rahul and I are back with the numbers for the first big results of 2023.
Huge interest in the northeast around these India Today Access My India numbers, and we're going to, over the next 2 hours, get you the results for Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland. Rajdeep and I will start from Tripura, where we have a sample size, Rajdeep, of 6,037, cutting across 59 constituencies where polls were held. So that's where we'll start from. We're going to start from Tripura, where polls were held on the 16th of February. Counting, remember, is on the 2nd of March. And this is also the state which has the maximum interest outside of the northeastern region as well, because this is the first state in the northeast where the BJP managed to win outside Assam of its own accord.
That's right. In a way, Tripura could become a template for what lies ahead in 2024, because this was a state where the Congress and the left tied up in a way to stop the BJP. And you had the emergence of a regional tribal force in Tripura Mota. So as we see the national picture of the opposition trying to get its act together, the BJP trying to consolidate 5 years in power, Tripura, I think, is critical to understand how this country is changing. Because Rahul, if you had done this exit poll 10 years ago, and the fact was no one even did exit polls really in the northeast states 10 years ago, you would have probably written off the BJP right at the start. They were a 1.6% party in 2013. From there, they go to 43-44% by 2018. They sweep the 2019 Lok Sabha, win both the seats, and lead in 50 of the 60 assembly segments. So the rise of the BJP in the northeast is best exemplified by Tripura, as is the decline of the Congress and perhaps also of the left. So I think the interesting aspects of Tripura are not just relevant to what's happening in that state, but also showcases how this country's political map, Rahul, has changed over the last decade.
And to go from about 1.5% of the vote to about 45% of the vote is a massive result. 43% in 2018, 51% in 2019 if you look at Lok Sabha vote share. So that's a big position that the BJP starts from. It's also where they changed the chief minister. So replacing Biplab Deb for Dr. Manik Saha, is that a strategy that will work in Tripura as well? It's worked for them in other states. It's worked in Gujarat. It's worked for the BJP in a place like Uttarakhand. It's worked in multiple states. Will it work in the northeast? So let's start.
And Dr. Manik Saha, interesting. He's a dentist. And he was smiling right through an interview that I did with him. And I said, what's easier to be, a dentist or a politician? And he actually said being a politician is easier than being a dentist.
Right.
Because if you get anything wrong as a dentist, he says your patient goes for you. He said, politics I can handle. And I thought he would always say it the other way around. But here was someone, very low profile, had never contested an election till he became chief minister. Only was in the Rajya Sabha, was part of the Congress's Medical Doctors Association in Tripura. So, he also exemplifies change.
So this is where you've got Pradyut of the Tripura Mohata, the erstwhile Maharaja, very colorful character, also in the fray. And the question is, what kind of dent will he make in this election, and who does he damage more? So let's get started. We'll take you through, Rajdeep, the vote share and seat share numbers for Tripura.
Okay, let's go first for the vote share and seat share numbers for Tripura. Rahul, why don't you take them? Give it to us. What exactly could happen in Tripura?
So in 2018, in the assembly elections, the BJP had 43% of the vote share. The Congress and the left, if taken as an aggregate, had 16% of the vote share. According to the India Today Access My India post-poll prediction, the BJP in this exit poll with the IPFT is likely to have 45% of the vote share. The left and the Congress together. Now this is interesting, as Rajdeep mentioned, because this could potentially be a template in other places, but wherever they've tried it, it hasn't worked, at least in terms of conversion into seat share. 32% of the votes for the left and the Congress. This was 9% in the Lok Sabha and 16% in the Assembly. If I were to add the Congress and the left vote share, then the Tripura Motha of Pradyut Deb Burman at 20%. Remember, this is a new front that's come up asking for a separate Tripura land. But the question is, how does this convert into seats? So let's take our viewers through that, the conversion of these votes into seats. India Today and Access My India predict that the BJP will form the next government in Tripura. Out of the 60-seat assembly, the majority mark at 31. Access My India predicts for the India Today group that the BJP alliance with the IPFT will have between 36 and 45. The left and the Congress together between 6 and 11. The Tripura Motha between 9 and 16. What we're essentially seeing, Rajdeep, is because of the presence of the Tripura Motha, because of Pradyut's presence in the fray, the opposition vote has got split, as a result of which the BJP has increased its vote share just by 2%. It's actually down in comparison with the Lok Sabha, but comfortably poised to be able to form the next government and come back to power in Tripura once again.
More than the division in the opposition vote, Rahul, what I would say is that Tripura is seeing classically consolidation of the tribal vote towards the Tripura Motha and the Bengali vote towards the BJP and the Congress left alliance, which is an unnatural alliance. These are the two parties that have fought each other for the last 50 years. They've come together only to stop the BJP. Once you do that, you run the risk of the Congress voter not necessarily shifting to the left, that's happening, and the BJP is consolidating. So clearly at the moment, what we are seeing in Tripura is a potential consolidation of the Bengali vote. And just for our viewers, Tripura has 60 seats, 20 were in the tribal belt. That's where the Tripura Motha is doing well, calling for a greater Tripura land, almost a separate state within a state. And the remaining 40 seats in the general category is where the BJP is doing well. Remember, about 70% of Tripura's population is Bengali speaking and about 30% is tribal. So what you're seeing is the demographics of Tripura are now working squarely in favor of the BJP. So the big story coming in from Tripura is that the BJP is once again poised to retain a state. Despite anti-incumbency, 9 months ago a chief minister changed, Biplab Deb, replaced by Dr. Manik Saha, the BJP poised to do better than they did, or as well certainly as 2018. Kaushik Deka joining us, the man from India Today magazine, also handles a very important digital site now, India Today Northeast. Kaushik, your first reactions to these Tripura numbers?
These are almost expected because as I had mentioned earlier also, the emergence of Tripura Motha is actually helping BJP. Tripura Motha, as I can see, it's getting around 9 to 16 seats, and of course those seats will come from the tribal belt, where BJP last time won 10 seats and its partner IPFT won 18 seats. So BJP seems to have lost those seats to Tripura Motha now. 18. If Tripura Motha takes 16 seats, then BJP would lose on those seats. So what has this emergence of this Tripura Motha, it has led to the consolidation of the Bengali votes. So I have been repeatedly saying that because the moment this tribal sentiment emerges, the 70% population, the Bengali population, that there has been a consolidation because they see BJP as the party which can protect them. Because if you carefully listen to BJP's poll campaign towards the end, it categorically kept saying that we would not give Tripura land, we would not split Tripura. The whole campaign was revolving around that. So that means BJP was actually targeting the Bengali votes, and which they successfully seems to have gained.
This shows up in our numbers. If you look at the caste and community-wise breakup of the Access My India exit poll predictions for India Today, the Tripura Motha picks up 51% of the vote share amongst the tribal communities, whereas the BJP picks up 60% plus vote share amongst the general and OBC categories. Which essentially means because the Tripura Motha came up as a separate party pushed by the erstwhile Maharaja, the non-tribal vote has got consolidated. The left and the Congress have done well in the minority-dominated seats. For example, amongst the Muslim seats, the left and the Congress together have 67% of the vote share. But that apart, whether it's the Dalits, whether it is the OBCs or the general communities caste, they have helped the BJP with a massive consolidation, and it's big because this is where the likes of Amit Shah, the likes of Himanta Biswa Sarma worked really hard on ensuring that they would win Tripura again to show that 2018 wasn't a fluke.
You know, this will be a big result for the BJP because it will start the year, this big election year for the BJP on the right foot if this Axis My India exit poll is right. I'm joined at this moment by Sanju Verma of the BJP, Dr. Fuad Halim, leader of the CPIM, and Dr. Sudeep Dev Barman of the Congress party. Remember, the left and the Congress have tied up there. So the first numbers that are coming up from Tripura clearly suggests that the BJP has the advantage over the left Congress alliance. Sanju Verma, for once you can smile and, you know, without necessarily any recriminations, feel that maybe this is a good start to the year, that the BJP could well be consolidating in Tripura, a state where you made that major breakthrough 5 years ago.
Rajdeep, I was listening to you and Rahul, and I found one point pretty interesting. You said that, the TMP, the Tripura Mota Party, will basically have its presence registered in the 21 tribal seats, and there is a consolidation of Bengali vote. And that is the reason that the BJP is coming back to power, because the general category seats are about 39 from the total 60. Now, I have a different take on that. I think you rightly said that, 32% of Tripura's 37 or 38 lakh odd population is tribal population belonging to the scheduled tribes. But even in those 21 tribal seats where you feel that the BJP will not register its presence very strongly and the TMP will give the BJP a run for its money, I beg to differ there. I feel that the 9 to 16 seats that you're giving to the TMP is highly exaggerated. And while you have given us a 2% lead at 45% in terms of seat vote share compared to 2018, our vote share was about 43% odd. You are giving us just 36 to 45 seats along with the IPFT. And I'm telling you that the number of seats we will win is between 45 to 50 along with our partner IPFT.
No,
we will do
as long as you don't say 60 out of 60. As long as you don't say 61 out of 60, I'm okay. Okay,
May
but
I please finish?
let the others come in. You made your initial comments. Let the others come in. There are lots of senior people also on this program. Dr. Fuad Halim, it appears clearly that the left strategy of tying up with the Congress has not worked as per the exit poll. Will these numbers mean effectively that this strategy of tying up with a party in a Bengal, in a Tripura, but fighting them in Kerala is not working for y'all? Y'all are the opponents of each other for years. You can't overnight expect voters to switch sides.
Well, there are two things that are apparent from this exit poll. First thing is that you have very courageously said that the Bharatiya Janata Party has lost the popular mandate it has received in the Lok Sabha elections. They've gone down from 51% to below 50%. And I congratulate you for showing that courage. Secondly, it is fait accompli that the total opposition vote against the BJP is definitely more than 50% and definitely more what the BJP, as predicted by the exit poll, has received. The second thing I think so is very important that you're already saying that the left and the Congress alliance has made a big impact in terms of increasing their vote share. This is what your exit poll is actually evidencing about. So I think so we are comfortable because we have to keep in mind that this is an exit poll and the results are going to come in.
No, Mr. Halim, I must correct you. We exit poll vote share in comparison to 2018, you are lower. You were actually 42% in 2018. Only in comparison to Lok Sabha have you done slightly better. You are actually down by over 10%. For the left, this is a huge setback.
That is exactly what I'm saying. For you, it's a setback. For me, it's a positive that we've recovered a lot of ground, and this togetherness of the left and the Congress has definitely impacted the voters. And a lot of them have changed their minds since the Lok Sabha election, and they have voted in favor of the left. This is what your exit poll is coming across. You might go back to 2000, what you call 18. You might go back to 2017. You might go back to 2000. 12 and you can go back and back and back. So the more back you go, the more analysis you have. Presently, this is the way
Okay,
that
let's
I look upon it. I think so. It's a positive, and the BJP is losing ground.
So,
There's a narrow
Sushmita Dev, the
going down.
Trinamool contested in 28 seats. The likes of Mamta Banerjee, Abhishek Banerjee invested a lot of time, energy, effort in Tripura, hoping to make a dent and make an entry. It seems from this India Today exit poll, and I haven't discussed Meghalaya and Nagaland just yet, but it seems from what we put out for Tripura that the Trinamool's plans haven't come to any fruition, at least in Tripura.
Well, that's what your exit poll seems to say. But on 2nd of March, we'll have to wait and see. But I do feel that when it comes to your projections of what you're showing for the BJP, I somehow don't agree with it, because what the mood of the people on the ground was definitely not one-sided for the BJP. And we'll have to see what Tripura Motha says. And going by your exit polls, all I can say is that if you're saying the fight became bipolar, then I believe that BJP stands to lose. And you're well aware that it was not possible
No, we're
for
not
Trinamool
saying that it's a
Congress
bipolar fight. We're actually saying that it's the presence of the Tripura Motha which split the opposition vote to the advantage of the BJP, where the left and the Congress together couldn't put up as strong a fight because the Tripura Motha in the tribal seats took away a lot of the votes. So it's actually opposition disunity
I'll tell you
helping the
something.
ruling BJP.
I mean, Rahul, senior Congress leader Shudhi Burman is also on the show. And I believe for Tripura Motha to fight beyond the 20 ST seats may have helped the BJP. So I will agree with you there. Because what they did is the tribal vote that was anti-BJP, it did not let it divert to the anti-BJP camp. So there is, I mean, we'll have to wait and see what happens on 2nd of March. But there I agree with you that Tripura Motha
Are you
may
accusing
have
Pradyut of being the
helped-
BJP front?
Sorry?
Are you accusing Pradyut of being a BJP front?
Well, I'm not one to accuse anyone of anything, but the figures will tell you and the vote share will tell you that there's a real possibility that the anti-BJP vote, which is specifically the tribal votes in non-tribal seats, which should have gone to the non-BJP camp, went to Tripura Motha, for which it did not consolidate on the winning side. That's a real possibility.
Okay, because it is a complex state. Sudeep Dev Varman is one of the few leaders of Tripura who, irrespective of what happens elsewhere, tends to win his seat. He's now with the Congress, and we don't know exactly who's winning which seat at the moment, Dev Varman. But Sudeep, do you accept that this alliance on the ground has not worked? Left Congress, you have actually opened up the space for the BJP to consolidate among the majority Bengali community, particularly because there was an aggressive campaign launched by Tripura Motha, so the tribals were getting consolidated, and so have the Bengalis. The Congress left has lost out. The left is losing out in the tribal areas, you are losing out in the Bengali speaking areas.
Razip, I humbly differ with whatever projection you are showing in the name of exit poll. Don't take it otherwise. We have our organization, so does the left across the state. You ask the BJP guys, the Tripura Motha workers, leaders, or Susmita Di, or whosoever is there in your show, and you know the answer best. We have not witnessed even a single channel on the day of poll to gather the information from the electors who just casted their votes and came out of the polling booths. Nowhere this mechanism worked out in our state, but you are terming all these figures as exit poll. So at the initial stage, I humbly defer to call it an exit poll.
No, it's not an exit poll. It's a post-poll study. It's actually much better than an exit poll, because once polling is concluded, in a scientifically determined fashion, our pollsters go to the residence of people who have actually cast their mandate. I've been part of some of these polls. They see who's voted, sir, and that's how they determine in a far more scientific manner than just randomly standing outside a polling booth.
Okay, fine. Then the term you should use is the opinion. I can humbly differ with that. but you can use it as not an exit poll. You can term it as an opinion poll. So far as your opinion poll is concerned, which you are projecting right now, I humbly differ with you. Why? The reason. The statement that you are, or observation that you are making, that Tripura Motha has, you say, garnered all the tribal votes. Yes, it's a fact, almost a chunk of the voters they have garnered. But in those seats, in those constituencies, apart from I stand to correct Ms. Verma on this, not 21, it is 20 ST reserved seats where there's a contest. This apart, there are another 20 odd seats where the tribal electorates do have a significant role in determining the prospect of the candidate. In those constituencies, in the last elections, if you kindly go through the booth-wise result sheet, it was in those constituencies where the tribal vote completely shifted towards the BJP ensuring the win of those candidates from the unreserved seats. But this time around, the Tripura Motha contesting, the tribal votes having gone shifted to Tripura Motha in those unreserved seats, is now a topsy-turvy situation for the BJP to win those seats.
No, what you're forgetting, Mr. Dev Burman, Sudeep Roy Burman, what you're forgetting is that that in those seats, what we are also seeing is the Bengali vote consolidating. You see, the Congress left alliance is being hit on both sides. The Tripura Motha is taking the tribal vote and the BJP is consolidating the Bengali vote. You've got stuck. Your voter is not transferring his or her votes to the left, your traditional enemy, and the left is getting a beating, particularly because Tripura Motha is striking in traditional left bastions.
Okay. That's the point where you made a mistake in West Bengal. So to read the mentality of the Bengalis, especially in West Bengal, in Tripura, you have misread them in West Bengal also. You are now misreading in the minds and the hearts of the Bengali voters in Tripura also. In Tripura, this time around, in these elections, people were so upset with the BJP because of the misrule and the lawlessness of the state. They have cheated the people, the trust of the people in the last 5 years. All the democratic rights have been stolen away. The constitution is completely invalid in the state of Tripura. And, you know, in Bengali we term as akrosh. ये आक्रोश का वोट था अभी इस चुनाव में 4 बजे सवेरे 4 बजे in the morning at 4 a.m. in the morning we witnessed huge quantum of voters congregating in the polling booth area.
You know, this akrosh that you're talking about, Kaushik, you know, the interesting thing that one noticed was actually, and that's where Rahul, I think the BJP pulled a rabbit out of the hat by removing Biplab Deb. The akrosh was very much there, say locals, but particularly against Biplab Deb. The manner in which he was running the state, the so-called bike bahinis, these youth who were running amok in several parts, there was charges of corruption. Did the BJP, if these numbers are right, just get that right? If they survive Tripura, it's because they changed the chief minister at the right time.
That's one of the factors, that they changed the chief minister, but we must also focus on this, that 8% more females have voted in favor of BJP compared to males. This is a significant number because if you look at Tripura's history, it has seen lots of electoral violence and always dominated by cadres, earlier the left cadres. So that atmosphere of violence, BJP could control to some extent. Of course, it also had its own bike bahini, but at the same time, all the rations going to households and all that, these things actually make more impact on the women of the house.
So, let's talk a bit about that. If you look at the gender-wise vote share, the BJP alliance has 49% of the women vote and 41% of the male vote. This is the gender-wise vote share. The left and the Congress alliance is 34% of the male vote and 30% of the female vote. So 8% more women have voted for the BJP than men. And Rajdeep, we saw this in Bihar. We've seen this in Uttar Pradesh, where it is because of security, because of the Labharti schemes, women seem to help the BJP get that extra bump. The gap There's a gap in both places, but the gap amongst women is 19%. The gap amongst men between the BJP and the left Congress is 7%.
And the only state, Rahul, which I can recall in the last few years, which has defied these numbers is Bengal, where you had a woman chief minister in Mamata Banerjee who consciously targeted the woman vote with series of schemes like Kanya Shri, Rupa Shri, directed at the woman voter. Similarly, Prime Minister Modi's central government schemes, whether it's Ujjwala, whether it's even Jan Dhan, all of them in a sense, women beneficiaries seem to be more enthused about it than men. And number two, the point that Kaushik made, we heard this in Agartala and places around, that we feel much more safe and secure today than we felt 10 years ago. The fact that you can go out for an 8 p.m. film, which earlier you could not in Tripura, was seen to make a difference. So while there was Akrosh, the Akrosh is there. The Biplab Dev 4 years have had a lot of resentment from a number of people. Women voters in general were happy with the central government schemes and they were happy with safety and security.
And it builds on the theory within the BJP that if your chief minister is unpopular, change him. There was a back and forth in the BJP on the question of Jairam Thakur in Himachal Pradesh. They finally didn't change him, paid the consequence, and now you got Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu. So those who ask for change will say, see, we changed Biplab Dev. If you see the question of who would you like should be the next chief minister of the state of Tripura, 27% are rooting for the dentist Manik Saha. Only 3% wanted Biplab Dev to be chief minister. Pratima Bhaumik came in at 1. Any other candidate from the BJP was 14. Jitendra Chaudhary came in at 14%. Manik Sarkar, the former chief minister, at 5. Any other candidate from the left front at 8. Sudeep Roy Burman, who's on our show, came in at 3. Any other Congress candidate at 2. Pradyut Bikram Debarman came at 11%.
And in a way, it wasn't easy. Biplab Dev was the strong man. And if you recall, when Manik Saha replaced him, chairs were thrown in the BJP Tripura office. There was a threat of violence. So it wasn't easy to replace him with someone who was a relative non-entity. Just a Rajya Sabha MP who had never contested a state election.
How does he manage then?
I'll tell you what he did. You see, sometimes when you put up someone who is non-confrontational, it's easier for him to bring everyone together. You see, there was a contest there where various candidates wanted to replace Biplab Dev. The BJP chose virtually someone from the outside. And thereby, none of the groups could claim victory over the other. It's a very interesting formula to take a relatively non-controversial figure and make him chief minister.
He was perhaps non-entity before he became the CM. But after he became the CM, he handled it really well. And we must not forget that 2 persons backed him. 2 big shots. One, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and the other one is Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma, who called all the shots in Northeast. So, but credit must be given to Manik Saha because he handled it very well. He was not threat to anyone, but he also took everyone together.
So if this,
still there is a challenge. As you see another name, Pratima Bhaumik, she is also aspiring to be the next CM, and Manik Saha has the tag of not being the original BJP.
It's interesting.
Neither
these
is
numbers.
Himanta. That doesn't matter.
Yes, but in Tripura politics, the hold that Himanta Biswa Sarma has over Assam politics or Assam BJP, Manik Saha doesn't have that hold on Tripura BJP. So of course those challenges will be there, but I think as the public figure also shows, and BJP internally would keep him.
Before we take a break, maybe we should go just to ask Sanju Verma, is this the formula? When there is anti-incumbency, when your numbers are showing anti-incumbency, change the chief minister. Is that the way forward for the BJP? Change your chief minister and arrest anti-incumbency. You have 4 years. You did it with Vijay Rupani in Gujarat. You done it in Tripura. You've done it in Uttarakhand. You didn't do it in Himachal.
Rajdeep, I thought that we are not going to have our powwows today, but I'm surprised. Actually, I'm amused that each time the BJP is on a winning spree, you say, oh, consolidation of bong votes, opposition did not put up a good fight, there was polarization, blah, blah. I just want to say one thing to you, and please listen very carefully. I think the only thing that has really worked for the BJP again and again and again is the fact that people and political pundits, with no offense to none, have completely ignored the Labharti model. Do you know something? Today, Tripura is the logistics hub of the Northeast. Our trade with Bangladesh and between Tripura has risen by 158%. 3.93 lakh Tripura households have access to clean drinking water thanks to Jal Jeevan Mission. 13 lakh Ayushman cards were issued in Tripura and the total beneficiaries are 1.84 lakh women. Do you know that there's 33% reservation in government jobs for women in Tripura? Do you know that 2 special fast-track courts to reduce child trafficking have been opened in Agartala and
mentioned
Kaliashev?
all of that.
No, this is the problem. You don't listen.
Sanju,
we
we
just
just said
mentioned
all
that.
of it.
You will not listen to these data points. You're obsessed with, consolidation, polarization, change of chief minister. अरे कभी तो credit दे दिया कीजिए.
No, but we just mentioned, Sanju ji, that the BJP had a 8% lead amongst women in comparison to their vote share amongst men, and that's a
that TMC is wiped out. Congress is wiped out.
the
And let me tell
TMC
you
wiped
one
out.
thing.
He did say it actually.
I think I mentioned, ma'am, I don't think sometimes you listen to me, that's okay. I said that because of a better law and order situation, because of the success of centrally government schemes,
Rajdeep,
women
wiped
are
out.
voting in
Use the
larger
term
numbers than
wiped
men.
out. Wiped out. Wiped out. TMC wiped out. Use the
Sushmita
term
Dev,
wiped out.
Sushmita Dev, this is the 4th time she's saying TMC wiped out.
TMC wiped out. TMC
Okay.
wiped out.
No, but Rajdeep, at some level, you interviewed Abhishek while you were
Yes.
eating in the Northeast. But this is a problem, right? They went and they contested like they did in Goa with so much fanfare. If you hear that Abhishek Banerjee interview, it looks like the fight is between the TMC and the BJP.
No, you see, let's be fair to Abhishek in this regard. Their battle is Meghalaya.
Sure.
That's the state where they have put their maximum resources. Interestingly though, Tripura was their original battleground.
Sure.
If 20 years ago, Mamata Banerjee was also contesting election in Tripura in the belief that if she consolidated the Bengali vote there, this was the natural state to go to given the Bengali population. It didn't work out that way. Even those who won on a Trinamool Congress ticket post-election would go and join the Congress. So I think Mamata Banerjee, this is again, one size doesn't fit all. Just because I'm a Bengali voting for Mamata in Bengal, doesn't mean I'm necessarily voting for her in Tripura. The geographies of these states are very different. Sanju Verma is quite right. I think the BJP has invested a lot of its political capital in these social welfare schemes for Tripura, and they're working. Now, she gets angry when I say, even if I praise the BJP, I can't do anything about that.
TMC and Congress wiped out. Can you say that once for me? TMC and Congress wiped out. Can you
As
say that
per
for
the
me on
exit
screen?
poll, Sanju Verma, I'll say it as
Can
per
you
the
say
exit.
that for me on screen? TMC wiped out, Congress wiped out, left wiped out. Please say that once, Rajdeep.
Okay, as
Please
per the
indict
exit
Sanju
poll,
Verma for a change.
as per the
Please
exit
indict
poll,
the
the
BJP for a change.
TMC is wiped out and the Congress and the left are doing badly. This is as per an exit poll. Remember, Sanju Verma, the results are on the 1st of March, and who knows, or 2nd of March rather, and who knows what happens then. But I'm glad you're feeling good by me saying that. I have absolutely no problem. मैं उसी कुर्सी पर रहता हूं, आप जीते वो जीते, मेरी जिंदगी बदलती नहीं है, आप लोगों की जिंदगी बदलती है. You get a little bit of a smile. We need to take a break now.
आपको बहुत बौखलाहट होती है, राजदीप जी.
Okay, madam.
Remember-
अरे बाप रे, relax. You need to really, relax. I will send you some yoga techniques that are being taught to me. It's a good way of relaxing.
Okay, Rajdeep teaching Sanju Verma yoga.
No, not me. I'll send her a yoga teacher.
He's not
me.
going to
No,
teach
not me myself.
Okay.
You can send Ramdev.
We can send Ramdev. Okay.
All quips aside, the BJP coming back to Tripura is a big achievement. This is the one state outside Assam where they won big in 2018. To be able to repeat that after having changed the chief minister and facing some midterm turbulence is a significant achievement. We will slip into a break. When we come back, we'll look at Meghalaya, we look at Nagaland, and we look at the big picture emerging from all these states. So details coming up on the other side of a very quick break. You're watching India Today's coverage of the Access My India exit poll for the 3 northeastern states.
तो जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है।
Leader must have a vision.
We will continue to work with the developing and the developed world for win-win solutions.
Nature had of course willed the survival of the fittest.
हम आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी को अपनाए हुए हैं।
एक साल के अंदर राहुल कन्वर की कार जो होगी वो इलेक्ट्रिक की होगी।
There is a confrontation of competing visions.
इस बार जो सीजन है गर्मी का वो सामान्य से ज़्यादा गर्मी देखेगा और जो बारिश और जो प्री मानसून गतिविधियां वो भी थोड़ी सी कम हो सकती हैं और जो टेम्परेचर हैं वो और हीट वेव की जो इंटेंसिटी और फ्रीक्वेंसी है वो ज़्यादा हो सकती है।
A weather expert confirming what the Aam Aadmi has known for the past week. The summers are here, well before time. The maximum temperature in Delhi has crossed 33 degrees, while IMD has warned about a heat wave with temperatures up to 38 degrees in Konkan, Goa and Gujarat. But it's the heat wave hitting Punjab and Haryana which is worrying policymakers the most. Temperatures are touching 30 degrees, nearly 5 notches above the normal. The dry weather conditions and rising temperatures have badly hit the winter crops like leafy vegetables, peas and onions in Punjab. There are apprehensions that the terminal heat this winter season may result in shriveled grains, which means a drop in the yield. A Business Today TV team met farmers in Punjab who feared their wheat output may also be hit. Daljit Singh of Azizpur village increased the sowing area of his wheat crop this year, hoping to recover some of the losses he incurred last year. But the sudden rise in temperatures has left him worried.
गर्मी की वजह से ना छोटा रह सकता है दाना जी। हाँ जी, फिर ठंड पैंदी जी तो झाड़ बढ़िया निकला जी।
Another farmer, Gurbachan Singh, who grows other crops like onions, peas, cauliflower and mustard, is also worried.
ज़्यादा सर्दी पैंदी है, फिर तो क्या कणक में भी झाड़ ज़्यादा होता है, तेलिया नहीं लगता, कि और बीमारी कई बीमारियां आ जाती हैं, कीड़ा शुरू हो जाता। जिस तरह के मटर सुकना शुरू हो गया, एकदम गर्मी आए, जिस ठंड होती तो मटर होर भी लगता। तो इस करके कई इस तरह की सब्जियां जी या गोभी सरों इनू तेलिया ज़्यादा पै रहा जी, स्प्रेहां कर रहे हैं पर फर्क नहीं।
The Agriculture Ministry had forecast a wheat harvest of 112 million tons this year, a rise of 4% over last year. The Met Department has however hinted that the rising temperatures can result in a dropped wheat yield. According to reports, the Food Corporation of India may be forced to advance wheat procurement by a week. There are various ways the wheat crop can be hit this year. Not only can the premature rise in temperatures lower the wheat yield, it may also result in early maturity of the crop. Experts say some areas may see wheat production dip by 10 to 15%. The worst hit will be late sown varieties.
Abhishek, you are launching these prestige brands, but there are lots of smaller companies which are coming out with interesting products. Particularly, I mean, if you go to Goa, there are these craft gins which are coming up. They are not huge in size. And we saw that Greater Than Gin was quite a success before Diageo bought a stake in that company. Have you considered the option of picking up some of these smaller brands, or does it make more sense for you to build rather than buy?
Radico.
Welcome back. You're watching our special coverage of the Axis My India exit poll for India today on the 3 northeastern states, 2 of which voted today, Meghalaya and Nagaland. We found out what's likely to happen in Tripura. Now let's turn to Nagaland, one of the more fascinating states, Rahul, because it is a difficult state to gauge given the topography at times, but our sample goes to over 6,132. across the 60 assembly constituencies, representative of all the various segments. But what are the numbers saying, Rahul?
In Nagaland, the National Democratic Progressive Party, the NDPP, and the BJP are contesting in a 40-20 seat share ratio. This is the same as the 2018 elections. I'll start with the vote share for Nagaland. Access My India predicts for India today that the NDPP will increase its vote share for 25 to 33. The